How's it going, and welcome back for another video. Today we have a quick one. We're just going to be talking about the B patch for 12.14, just in case you guys don't follow more on Twitter. This is where this stuff usually gets posted, and on Discord channels, that sort of thing. But usually this is the best way to keep up with this stuff, so we're going to be talking about it today. If you haven't been playing the patch, essentially what this patch has been, especially in high UO, I'm talking from that perspective, has been just you either bug abuse Asol, or you hit a 10 cost dragon, or you play Xayah, or if you can't hit any of those things, then you play Corki if you have AD items, that sort of thing. So the meta has been very oppressive, and especially if you're playing in high UO, it's just been bug abuse city. You know, yeah. Anyways, so with that out of the way, let's get into it. A lot of these changes are to address the current meta, which is very let's just say oppressive, and you know, the bug abusing part of it, and then it's also oppressive that, you know, none of the comps can really compete with a 1-star 10 cost dragon, which makes the game very unfun to play, especially in high UO. So let's just get into the changes though. Aurelion Sol, he's getting nerfed, so he's getting 25 taken off and 75 taken off there, which doesn't seem like a lot, but then you have to time that with the Ascension timer getting changed from 15 to 18, so now it won't perfectly coincide with Ascension, which is fantastic because that interaction was very, very OP. And then also the ascended damage is very important here, because if you're looking here and you're like, well, 25 off is nothing, or 75 off is nothing, the damage amp on Ascension is down quite a bit, which is when Asol actually starts to one-shot your board. So this should make him a lot less oppressive. Does this make him not good anymore? No, he should still be good. But yes, he will be a lot less oppressive, and will be a lot harder to 2-star, because if we look down here, we'll go ahead and talk about this, is the Astral bug should be getting fixed. I mean, they said this 2 patches ago. Honestly, I've completely lost trust in the devs in terms of bug fixing whenever they put it in patch notes, because there's been so many bugs that have been tried to be fixed and just haven't been fixed. But you know, they probably fixed it this time. If they're putting it in the patch notes again, they probably fixed it. But it says bug fix: players can no longer toggle between astral tiers during planning phase. If you don't really know what that means, all this really means is that if you're playing 3 astral and then you toggle in 6 astral, or you're playing 6 and you toggle in 9, which is just where you put your bench units on the board that are astrals so that you can get the appropriate shop number, if you don't know how the astral toggle works. Now you actually have to compete in combat in order to do that. So if you wanted, for example, if you wanted to astral toggle and you're playing Asol 6 astrals or something like that, you would actually have to complete a combat with 9 astrals in order to get your cash out. You would not be able to just toggle it in at the exact moment that you get the roll. That is what this bug fix is saying. Let's see if it actually happens. They tried to make this bug fix several patches ago. Didn't happen. And the other thing to look here is Astral 9 orb drop rate has been gone down from 75% to 45%. So even if Astral toggle still is available, it'll be a lot less powerful. But just we really hope it is bug fixed this time. We really hope. But you know, we'll see. Okay, Jinx. If you guys didn't know about this bug, Ragewing Jinx no longer receives rage from her ability while in rage. She will now receive the rage after any rage effect ends, and her attack damage was taken down. So essentially what would happen if you had Ragewing on Jinx is she would just permanently cast because of the mana refund if her traps miss. So the way Ragewing works is the bar goes down slowly. So the bar would start going down, but then she'd get mana refund. It would go all the way back up, and it would trigger a bug to where she would just instantly cast her spell again because she was at full mana. And the other thing, she's getting attack damage taken down just by 5. That's probably a warranted nerf. Jinx is, ever since they gave her that mana refund from 10 to 25, I think it was 10 to 25, she has become one of the best 2 costs in the game. And Corki is already one of the best builds in the game, and Jinx is a very good, kind of like a bridge tool to get there, because you'll play Jinx in your early game. Very strong early game unit. So making the pathway to get to the Corki comp a little bit more difficult, and you'll see that with trainer nerfs as well. Because yeah, Corki is the only non-dragon comp that is like firmly in the meta at the moment. So yeah, definitely warranted. And Jinx is a big part of that. So Shyvana is getting nerfed right here. Shyvana is going down from 1200 to 1050, and then 1800 to 1650. Does this mean you can't play Shyvana anymore? I should stop asking questions that way. You can still play Shyvana. Shyvana 1 will still be good. It'll still be like you hit a Shyvana stage 4, you're like, boom, throw your items on there. And probably still on stage 5, you can just build a whole comp around Shyvana 1. So still be looking out to play Shyvana. The biggest buff to Shyvana was just making her have these flat numbers, which scale extremely well with crit, and also allow her to kill squishy targets very easily. So still play Shyvana. If you guys like playing Shyvana, she should still be pretty good, but way less oppressive than she has been. so far. Sylas getting taken down again. Sylas is just a god tank. He's just way too tanky in mage comp specifically for what a 3 cost probably is. The fact that like 2-star Sylas is way more tanky than 3-star Lowy is kind of weird. I know you can do Lowy for free. And then a lot of times Sylas, I mean 2-star Sylas mage with good tank items is as tanky as like an Idas or tankier. So that's probably wrong. And the best way to fix it is just keep doing these slow mana nerfs. So his ability to recast is going to be a lot more difficult. His first cast will still happen at about the same time. But yeah, making him less of a god tank, because right now in mage comp specifically, he feels like as tanky as an Idas, which is probably wrong. Okay, cool. Items, Morellonomicon getting taken down just a little bit. I was happy with the Morellonomicon change. If you guys didn't know, the change is they added a lot of base AP onto Morellonomicon. 40 is probably a better spot for it. This probably puts it in a healthier state. I like the idea that Morello gives a lot of AP because the best Morello users in this game are mostly damage dealers. I mean, you could argue Sona isn't a DPS, but if you start itemizing Sona, she definitely starts to hit like a DPS. Yeah, so they made this change in Morellonomicon last set because they were like, oh, this should be like a utility item. But then they made none of the utility units very well at using the item, so then they had to make it a damage item again. So we'll see where Morellonomicon goes in the future. But I think for the rest of this set, at least, Morellonomicon will have this nice flat AP because it does have to go on units like Anivia, Deja, that sort of thing. Cool. Which are DPS units. All right, Zz'Rot is getting nerfed down. This is also a nerf to the Asol board. This is very good with Asol. A lot of the boards right now are very stall focused. Like, just think about it. You have like Deja, who's very stall focused. You have all the 10 cost dragons who need a lot of time to kind of get their stuff off, except for Shyvana, but just the two big, the two bros, Asol and Aoshin. And then like a Anivia comp, when you're running a Anivia show you carry, Zz'Rot's very good in there. So probably needed this a little bit of nerf because it's actually a very strong early game item, and it was actually a very good item in late game just because of the stall focus of the meta at the moment. So yeah, very good nerf here. So taking down just a little bit, but you know, if you guys like building Zz'Rot, you should still build it. But usually Zz'Rot, unless you're trying to like but run like a stall S comp, it's usually just an item you get because you have nothing else to build, and that'll still be fine in that capacity, as well as, yeah, and it's also good against sense. But yeah, it should still work in its same capacity. I don't know why I rambled so much. Anyways, all right, traits, we already talked about Astral. Guild Talon bonus AD is going from 5 to 8. Does this make Guild Xayah like a meta build again? You know, probably not. But I think Xayah right now is low-key not bad. I played like one game that felt okay. And I didn't top 4, but it was like I was like hard forcing Corki and then couldn't hit, and I hit Xayah and she didn't feel that bad. And I've seen some other people have a little bit of success with her, and with other stuff being in the meta being taken down, I think Xayah could be okay. This helps out Xayah a lot. This AD bonus helps out Xayah a lot. So maybe give Xayah a try on this patch, especially a lot of people won't be contesting her nearly as much. And I found that she's very easy to hit in the games that you're kind of forced to play her. So maybe give her a try when the game looks really good to play it. But I wouldn't like hard force it or anything like that. Okay, Trainer is getting taken down a little bit. So Trainer, the base health is going down, which is a very good change, and the Nomzi health per stack is going up. So it's probably a power neutral. They're probably aiming for power neutral here with this change. It's just they want you to feel like you're investing more in Trainer to do it. You know, I like the idea of this change in a way, but one thing I don't like about this set, and this is something else I didn't like about set 5. This set and set 5 has been my least favorite to play, and one of the reasons why that is it feels like on stage 2 and stage 3, it's not like you're locked in on a path, but it feels like you're definitely pushed into playing a particular way. Like if you get a Trainer opener, you really want to play Corki or Mages. You know, you really want to play one of those two comps. Which, you know, you could argue whether that's a good or a bad thing. If you get a Jade opener with a Morellonomicon, like you really want to play Shiryu. You know, you can play Deja, you can play some other stuff, but you really want to play that stuff. And you can argue whether that's a good or a bad thing. And I'm not really sure on the answer to that. But what I will say about this, you know, I like the idea of like, hey, you should have to invest into your Trainer. But the flip side of it is, you know, you have to invest in your Trainer to make it useful. So if you invest in your Trainer, it makes this like sunk cost fallacy where you feel like, well, I invested in this Trainer, I really should be playing Mages and Cannoneers. But, you know, we'll see how that turns out. That's the only negative thing I have to say about that. But what does this mean for the meta? Guys, I don't know. It's kind of tough. Are we still in a 10 cost dragon meta? Maybe. I think the 10 cost dragons are good. and they got nerfed down, and that's a great thing. And I think a lot of these changes are very good. But if I try to predict the meta from this spot, I'm gonna stop trying, because every single time they post something, the whole meta gets thrashed so hard. But just if I had to guess, just looking at these changes, I think we'll still be in a dragon meta. A dragon meta with Corki being the best AD comp. And there's some other fringe comps to survive. The only thing that's questionable to me is whether or not Xayah is like pretty decent now. Maybe try Xayah, since everything else got nerfed and Xayah's comp got buffed a little bit. So that's the only thing I have to say about this, is probably in a dragon meta still. Maybe give Xayah a try. Corki's still going to be good, and maybe some reroll builds will pop up. I think Olaf is actually a build that's flying under the radar right now. It's pretty decent. Actually, a very top 4able build. Can actually top 2. I've watched some people top 2 with it. I've top 2 with it. But it just has a really bad matchup and to show you. So yeah. Anyways, that's about it for the rundown. Not much to talk about here. Just a lot of the oppressive things change. Appreciate all of you guys. If you guys want more of me, you can subscribe here. I just post TFT content anytime there's news, new VODs, guides, that sort of thing. You can subscribe here, like the video, it helps me out a lot. Comment below with what you're excited about. That also helps me on YouTube. Also, I do read all the comments. Yeah, and if you want more of me, I stream at twitch.tv/tradingtft, and I post pretty much every day on Twitter at twitter.com/tradingtft. Other than that, appreciate you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic night, wherever you are. I hope you're doing well. See you guys. Bye.